Good morning to all the third BCom computers and general students. The subject we are going to learn today is banking theory and practice, and the topic is about the insurance, life insurance as a security and policies, and how can you take the loans on this life policies, and the life policy acting as a security. We are going to learn about that. So first and the foremost thing is meaning of insurance. A life insurance is a contract between a person known as insured and the insurance company called insurer. So agreement is going to start among the people. Which two people? One is insured, one more is a insurer. Who is insurer? Life insurance company is insurer. The person who is paying the premium regularly and paying the money for future and joining the contract comes under insured. Agreement or the bond which has been made between these two people comes under contract. So when this bond is going to start, when the insured is going to pay the first premium amount, first installment amount. So these premiums can be many types. Okay, depending upon the policy the customer has chosen, as well as premiums can be paid every month or every 3 months, every 6 months or yearly also you can pay the premium. And there are various policies existing under insurance company. Depending upon the insurance policies, the premium rate varies according to the salary of the employee or the income of the employee, whether he is a salaried person or a businessman. According to the contract, the insurance company undertakes to pay to the person for whose benefit the insurance is made a certain sum of money or annuity on the death of the person whose life is insured. So who is paying the amount here? The insurance company is promising that it is going to pay. For whom it is going to pay? The person who paid the regular payments, premiums to the insurance company, for him it is promising that it is going to pay the benefit for certain sum or annuity. What is the meaning of annuity? After your retirement, the lump sum amount it is paying you periodically. It may be in the form of salary or monthly or a pension. It is promising to pay means it comes under annuity on the death of the person whose life insured. Okay, it is also going to pay to the beneficiary. Beneficiary means whose name is mentioned in the policy after the death of the insured. That person comes under beneficiary. It is also going to pay to that person in the form of annuity, that is in the form of pension to the person whose name is mentioned. That is the meaning here. So insurance is a contract between insured and the insurer. Okay, it is promising to pay the lump sum amount before at the time of maturity or after the retirement or the death of the person, but it is compulsorily going to pay. Kinds of insurance policies, if you see, there are mainly two types of policies in your syllabus. One is whole life insurance, next one is endowment life insurance policy. So what is whole life insurance? The premium is paid throughout the life of insured and the policy becomes payable on the death of the insured. Whole life insurance word itself is telling you that you are paying the premium. Premium is what? The regular or the periodical amount what you are paying to the insurance company for your future risk events. That comes under premium. So this premium what you are doing, you are paying lifetime. Why you are paying? For the sake of the benefit of your family, your wife, your children, etc. So when it is going to be paid, it is going to be paid after the death of the person who paid the policy. That comes under whole life insurance. Endowment policy, the premium is paid during the stated period or till death. The policy money is payable on the expiry of the period or death of the insured. So this amount, the premium amount is paid according to the requirement of the consumer. If the customer is asking that before the death only he want the policy amount, means the company is going to give before the death of the insured, or after the death of the insured it should pay to the family members, means it is going to pay to the family members. The policy money is payable on expiry of the period of the death of the insured. When the date of the policy completes, at that time only it is going to pay the amount. Advantage of the life policy as security, liquid security. Liquid security means what? Cash. Liquid here means it is going to come in the form of a cash to you, that is currency notes to you. So financial security, it is giving some energy that some amount is there on behalf of you, means it is a confidence which is going where you are going to gain because of this security. That comes under liquid security. Stability in value. Stability in value means a life policy is stable in value. So what they promised, definitely that amount they are going to pay. Its surrender value continuously increases provided the premium are paid regularly. So the value also is going to increase as you pay the premiums regularly. The surrender value is minimum amount which will be paid by the insurance company if the policy is surrendered before its maturity. So you can take the surrender value also on this policy. What is surrender value? Suppose you want any loan, you require some lump sum amount and you don't have any securities at that time, this policy you can stop and you can take the amount what you has gained till today. So you are giving your bond to the policy, that is LIC company, you are breaching the contract, breaking down the contract and taking the amount, means it comes under surrender value. Okay. If the policy is with profits, the surrender value of the policy increases over and above the normal expenditure. Suppose the company is getting huge profits, the profit shared also is going to be sent to you. There is no necessity to allow a margin for depreciation as in the case of other securities such as stocks and shares. So there is no margin of depreciation that if there is a loss we are not going to pay. No, whether it is a loss or profit, it is going to pay to you the profits. Next, when you come to no problem in ascertaining the value. The value of the policy can be easily ascertained. Sometimes the policy itself indicates how the surrender value is to be calculated. If it does not do so, the company will supply required information. So what is the meaning of this point is, suppose surrender value, how to calculate you don't know, means company is going to clearly explain about that. Assignment made easy. Here, what is the meaning of this is, the policy can be easily assigned in favor of the banker. The legal formalities connected with the assignment is simple. The banker gets perfect title without much difficulty. You did not pay the bank loan and you are submitting the policy to the banker. So, submitting this policy means you are assigning your responsibility to the banker. So this assignment is very easy and in simple terms banker can easily understand and easily they can transfer. No supervision. The life policy remains in the custody of the bank. The security requires little supervision except that the bank must watch the regular payment of the premiums. So here it is not keeping any special supervision and observer on you. Just it is observing whether you are paying the premiums regularly or not. If you are paying the premiums regularly, automatically the policy amount you are going to get clearly. Next, if you see the disadvantages of the life policy in security, evasion of facts which policy is affected. A contract of insurance is a contract of made easy, utmost good faith. This means the insured must disclose all material facts relating to his life at the time of taking over the policy. The policy may be Non-disclosure material facts. A banker who lends against insurance policy has no means of knowing whether insured had disclosed all material facts concerning life. So he is disclosing. What is the disadvantage is he is disclosing all his secrets, because there should not be any hidden facts. That is a disadvantage. Non-payment of premium, if you talk about, a life policy depends for its continued validity for the amount insured on the regular payment of the premium. There is a risk that the customer may not be able to pay future premiums. The policy will lapse if the assured fails to pay certain premiums. Suppose he is not paying the premiums, means the policy is going to stopped or break out. Risk in case of suicide. A life policy contains a number of conditions. For example, almost all the policies have a suicide clause, stating that if the assured commits suicide within a certain period from the date of insurance, the policy becomes void. The policy is going to be stopped. Admission of the age. The insured must have forward his birth certificate, and this must have been accepted by the insurance company. In its absence, difficulty arises in claiming the amount of the policy. So if the date of birth certificate is submitted only, the calculation of the policy is going to be very appropriate. Okay, insurable instrument. Suppose the birth certificate is not there, the claim amount also is going to be different. You may get the less amount. That is a disadvantage of admission of certificate, admission of age. Insurable interest. There is a slight rise that person taking over the policy might have no insurable interest in the life assured. In such a case, the contract becomes void. Suppose the insurance company is not promising that it is going to pay the interest to the policy holders, means the people may not join the policy and they break down the policy, so it is going to become void. Next, precautions against the life policy. Precautions what you should take when you join the life policy, or when you should submit the proofs. So first and the foremost point is preference to endowment policy, existence of insurable interest, proof of admission age, ensuring survival of the policy, extent of advantage, no prior encumbrance, assignment of the policy, equitable mortgage. These are the precautions the life insurance company is going to take against the securities. So first and the foremost point is endowment policy. So what is the meaning of endowment policy? A banker should prefer endowment policy. Endowment policy means what? Before the death or after the death, according to the customer request, it is going to pay the amount, means it comes under endowment policy. Existence of insurable interest means every policy should have the insurable interest. They should pay some extra amount to the customers because they are paying the regular amounts. So if insurable interest is there, then only the people are going to join the policies. Okay. So some instance where the person has insurable interest in the life of the other person, a person in his own life, the wife is the life of the husband, or vice versa, a parent is life of the child, the creditor is a life. So how they are dependent, policy is dependent with the insurance. Proof of age, admission of the age. One of the factor determining the amount of the premium to be paid is the age of insured. Sometimes proof of age is not required at the time of giving the policy, but in some cases admission of the age is mandatory. That is, an insurance company, in order to satisfy the policy, it is compulsory to submit the age proof. Okay, so this necessitates the banker to verify whether the age is admitted by the insurance company or not. So bank people are also going to check whether people submitted this or not. Extent of advance. or ensuring the survival of the policy must be in force and the premium to be paid up to the date. First thing is survival of the policy. How can you declare? Because regularly the premiums are paid by the customer means survival of the policy means policy is going on successfully. The banker should ensure that last premium receipt is accompanied by the policy. So the banker should check whether the premiums are paid and the last present premium receipt should be taken. Why they are taking? You are taking the loan on your policy. When you are taking the loan on the policy, the banker is going to check all these things. Who is going to check? The banker is checking precautions against a life policy. So when the policy is submitted to the banker for taking the loan means the banker is going to check all these clauses. Next, extent of advance. The surrender value should be ascertained for the insurance company before the advance is considered. Usually 10 to 15% margin is maintained on the surrender value. The Life Insurance Company of India has supplied a programmed manual to almost all the banks for ascertaining the value at their own end without reference to the corporation. So some manuals are printed and submitted to all their company of policy holders beforehand itself what will be the surrender value given on the policy. No prior encumbrance. The bank should ascertain from the insurance company that there are no encumbrance in the policy. Assignment of the policy. The policy accepted as security should be properly assigned by the borrower in favor of the bank. When they are submitting the life policy, the banker should properly check all the details and take the responsibility. That is called as the assignment. The assignment can be made either by an endorsement of the policy itself or by a separate document properly stamped and executed by the insured. So he is going to submit the proper documentation on the stamped papers. He is going to sign and then he is going to submit the policy. The insurance company, the assignment made on the policy should be sent to the insurance company for registration of the assignment in its books, and in case a separate instrument is used, a notice of assignment signed by the insured should accompany the policy. So once the policy has been submitted to the bank also is going to submit this assignment copy is going to send it to the insurance company for the registration in its books. Next, equitable mortgage. A banker may also get equitable mortgage of the policy, in which case the borrower deposits the policy together with a written understanding to assign if and when called upon to do so. Though it minimizes the expenses, bankers do not favor it because realization is difficult. A banker may also get equitable mortgage on this policy. So equal amount if they sell means they should get the equal amount on the policy. Next, fixed deposit receipts. So on the fixed deposit also they can take the loans. So for that we are going to learn now fixed deposit receipt. Fixed deposits which are repayable after the expiry of a certain period or excellent security to obtain advances from banks. First point, clearly I am saying you, what is the first point? You fixed deposits are also acting as a security to you to take the loan. So for a banker, it is acting as a good security, excellent security to give the loans for you. Next, the depositor who is in urgent need of money can seek loans by pledging the fixed deposit receipt. The depositor means the person who made the fixed deposit. If he is in urgent need of money, he can take this. He can promise or give the note and then take the loan on this. The fluctuation in price, creation of charge, problem of valuation and assessment of title of ownership are no more issues in this case. So fluctuation prices, creation of the charge are no more problems. So precautions what you should take when you are taking the loans on the fixed deposit. So who are taking the precautions? The bank people are taking the precautions for giving the loans on the fixed deposits. First and the foremost point is deposit receipt in borrower's name. So whether the deposit is there on the person who is taking the loan or not. Advance should be granted to the person in whose name the deposit stands. If the deposit is in two or more names, a letter of authority is signed by all the authorizing the banker to grant the loan. Suppose two or more people's names are there in this fixed deposit, means all the people's names and signatures should be taken, then the loans should be given. Deposit receipt in minor's name. No advances should ordinarily be granted against the deposit standing in the name of the minor. Suppose deposit is there on the minor, means loans cannot be getting on that. Okay, and advances could be made after getting the declaration from the guardian that the amount will be utilized for the benefit of the minor. Suppose for a minor, automatically there is going to be a guardian. So guardian should agree, he should sign, and he should think that the money which they are taking the loan on this fixed deposit should help the minor. If it is not helping the minor but for their self satisfaction, means the loan is not going to be given by the bank. Advance against a third party receipt. Banks may allow advances on the security of the third party fixed deposit receipt issued by their own bank. In such a case, the banker should get the receipt of day duly discharged by the owner of the receipt and a letter of request signed by him authorizing the bank to hold the receipt as a security for the advance. If it is there on the third party should agree, sign, and then it should be sent. So deposit issued by the another branch of the same bank. Advances may be granted against a fixed deposit receipt issued by another branch of the same bank. The banker should ascertain that no lien is already noted against the deposit receipt. The banker, after granting advances, should initiate the issuing branch to note and confirm its lien. A letter should be taken from the borrower addressed to the issuing branch to remit the proceeds to the lending branch and maturity of the deposits. Loans against the fixed deposit receipt issued by the banker. As a rule, no advances should be made against a fixed deposit receipt. So what is telling is, as a rule, no advances should be made against a fixed deposit receipt issued by another bank. The bank has a paramount lien on the deposit receipt issued by it and may refuse to register the lien of the lending bank. Right? Lien means what? Some loan he took and he did not repay, means the bank is taking the right of that property. So that type of cases, the bank is not going to issue any loans on the fixed deposits. Discharge of deposit receipt. A fixed deposit receipt accepted for the advance should be discharged by the depositor putting the signature across the appropriate revenue stamp. So he should say that, yes, I am discharging my deposit, and he should sign. Then only he can get the loan, that on the stamp paper. In addition, the banker should obtain a memorandum of pledge signed by the borrower which authorizes him to appropriate the amount of deposit. He should also submit one letter, memorandum of letter, that he is agreeing that he is taking the loan by giving the deposit. Rate of interest. Note of lien. The bank liens should be noted in fixed deposit receipt and ledger, and also on the face of the receipt. If any lien is there, that should be mentioned. Rate of interest. According to the Reserve Bank directive, the rate of interest chargeable on the loan against the fixed deposit receipt shall be least 2% above the interest payable on such deposits if the deposit is the same of the borrower. The same interest is going to be charged, sometimes more than that. Repayment. Usually the advances against the fixed deposit receipts are automatically adjusted on the maturity from the proceeds of the deposits. If payment is made before the due date, the deposit receipt is returned to the borrower after the cancellation of the discharge. Suppose how much loan he took on this fixed deposit, if he is repaying that loan to the banker, means that fixed deposit receipt is going to be given to the customer. Suppose they are not giving the receipt, means the fixed deposit amount, how much it is there, they are going to deduct the total loan amount from that, and remaining amount only they are going to pay. So these are the precautions what the bank is going to take when it is giving the loans to the on the fixed deposits. Thank you. Thank you very much, students. Please concentrate on the classes. Please listen the classes. Note down the important points. And I request all the students, and I am regularly informing to all the students, don't waste the time sitting at home mobile by using the mobile and internet facilities. Please concentrate on the classes. Do revision. Exams may be started in the month of January. I request all the students to start the revision and do the revision. Thank you. See you again.